Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Group Chart Analysis. It is Sunday, September 9th, 2018. And this week's going to be good. I believe so. I mean, there's NFP last week. So we had a lot of movement up and down. You know, a lot of traders got trapped from what I saw. Which should make up for some good movement, at least for the beginning of the week, right before we got started. I was looking at EU, GU, AU, gold, obviously my pairs. And these things are breaking out. They actually did break out of a trend line that has been holding so for the last 3 weeks or so. And they're looking like there's no signs of it going back up. I mean, it is still, the EMAs are tight here on the daily, on the 4 hour. The hour, it's still technically, if we're looking at like this, it never technically broke it yet. There's there, that's where it hit, and then there's here. So obviously there's a little bit more, but from what I'm seeing here, I'm not really seeing divergence. I'm not seeing anything telling me that it's going to be going back up, except for like a false move week beginning. Here on the daily, it actually looks the best because it just crossed back beneath the stationary 50, and the candle on the daily closed beneath all of them and out of the trend line. So from this expectation, from what I'm seeing here, I believe that over this week we're going to see EU start dropping. All right, so that includes, if we go into tonight, let's look at the 15-minute. It's divergent here, so this is what we're going to look for. You'll see the divergence on the 15-minute. Price is coming down, price is going up on the TDI. It's shark finned in the oversold zone. This is coming out of the volatility band. It's going to go up to here. I want to see what happens, though, because this is the trend line that it actually broke last week. So what we're going to look for is ideally a reversal up today, right? And then possibly, if it happens tonight, you can take it for a sell. If it doesn't, you can look for like a small buy up towards that mail as it comes around like this. It'll come like around this way type deal. And when it does do that, hopefully if it shoots up, we can see this thing drop down for a sell. I would love to see this thing stop breaking. So what I want you guys doing on EU is waiting for it to rise, and then we'll wait for the next continuation drop down. We have to see what it's going to do here. I mean, you can technically buy it because it is in a trend. I mean, it's in a fringe, but everything on the higher time frame is pointing down. So what I'm just trying to say is if you're going to buy it, this is draw your trend line the way I did it, and that's your take profit, or your take profit could be up here. Just don't expect a crazy amount of movement, because if it comes up here and throws a pattern, like I'm just telling you that right now, it's going to re-drop again down to this low. So I'll be waiting on this to shoot up, and then I'll see what it's going to do for the daily, or how it's going to drop for the next day or so. G is the same shit. So if you look at the daily here, it shot all the way up for NFP and back down. Wicked hella hard, trapped all these traders. That's why they're there. If you look at the daily, it wicked right off of the water, and it's still below the stationary 50, indicating downtrend. And what is it? Look at this. On every single time frame, the first EMA I tell you guys it's going to hit is the catch-up. After it hits the catch-up, where is it supposed to go? It's the water. It's the first pullback zone. That's the first considered official pullback when it hits it. This hit the water for the first time in 4 months. And it's a downtrend. This is a pullback. We are now going to be experiencing some sort of selling opportunity. Now, mind you, after all these wicks, they're going to do it probably one more time. Stop hunt high, so it's the same thing for EU. Stop hunt high, look for sells. If it comes all the way up here, like where this wick was last week, you can be looking for some nice selling opportunities. Now, I did throw this part up here. This is the hour. It could possibly come up and then back down. Who knows? We're going to have to see what happens. It's divergent here in the hour, too. Price is going up, and then this is hitting a stagnant wall. It's coming right across the top. So we're going to be looking for this thing to, yes, drop. Stop on high drop. AU, same shit. Broke all the lows last week. It broke through that supply and demand zone that we drew up on the daily. From here over, it broke it. Where's the next one? The next big one is down here, but I think that's off the week. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Delete these. Delete these. then what I'm going to do is this. Come on. Show me. Where's this one? Right there. So if it comes around, it's going to come down until like right in between the recent daily low and the recent weekly low. So we're looking for this thing to continue to drop this week. Okay, so stop on high, same shit. Drop again. I like AU better for the continuation more than anything. So this one you're especially waiting for it to come back up into the supply and demand. Once it hits it, you look for sales. So none of you should be selling right now. Wait for it to shoot up. And then gold's probably doing the same shit, even though I haven't looked at it, but it is due for this drop on the daily. That low. It's due for it. It needs a retest. Gold is a very technical pair. It's got to form that W. 4 hour. This is totally dropped. Look at this. Hold on, actually, let me draw this. I don't even like this. I'll be looking for sales, that's all I know. Gold isn't the best looking pair, but if it follows along the EU, this thing should be dropping. So look for it to come down to at least this zone. Across the top here. That's where it's going to drop. That's where we'll be looking for it to drop. UG, if this is going to be just like the opposite of EU, then this thing should be rising. Got a nice solid divergence on the 4 hour, the daily. Even better, it's actually way better. So this is an indication to buy yet, but it is an indication to look for a setup. So same shit. Stop hunt low, drop. So we're going to look for this thing to drop one more time, as like this, possibly down to the recent low, and then we'll be looking for buys. Due for a pullback, especially since it's hitting that weekly Mayo. Should be the monthly water. Yeah, we'll be seeing some sort of move up, but overall this thing will be dropping again, right? So understand that when this thing shoots up, this is because this used to be the low. This is now the low. Lower low, lower high, tank again. So this will happen over this month. We'll be looking for it to shoot up for the first initial pullback. Once it finishes that pullback up over the next week or so, we'll come back down and trade this bitch all the way down to that low and further beyond. So that's what we'll be looking for. It'll be just as big as this. That's a good amount of pips. Yeah, so look, it's over the water now. Shit's over the water. Consolidate, 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 bounce off the water. Next take profit will be the Mayo. All right, so you'll be looking for this thing to shoot up. Right? If anything, possibly stop hunt low, then shoot up, but you're looking for this thing to shoot up. That's what I'm looking for at least. So stop on low, then buy it. UCAD. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Let's see. It's about the stationary 50 uptrend. Oh, sure. Nice wick 2 weeks ago. Finished up on the tide. Super sauce right there. A little bit diet on the weekly. Yeah, red. Oops. You got red, red, blue, blue. This is like a nice W to shoot back up. They stop hunt it low. Here, shoots up. So daily, and it even took out the high here. So this used to be the recent high, this zone right there. Now we have new highs, higher high. It's either going to consolidate and shoot up, or it's going to shoot down, then shoot up. Overall, we're looking for this thing to be up. But how do we, I want to see the precision. So it hasn't touched the 4-hour water yet. Wait for it to do that. So what you'll be looking for is a shot down towards that water on the 4-hour, and then a buy back up towards that high. That'll be the first take profit and further beyond, depending on, you know, the setup and how clean it is. But I believe this thing will shoot down tonight, and then you guys can look for the nice buying opportunity as it comes back up. UCAD's not my favorite pair. I'm not obviously going to be going crazy about it, but if the opportunity there, the opportunity's there, I'll take it. UJ definitely looks like it's going to be taking a little drop. Just off of the 4-hour alone, when I see this, and it's in a fringe, it came up through all these wicks through that M, this thing is coming back down to retest that low. All right, so that's what we'll be looking for in UJ tonight, just simply off of that, and the fact that it's below the stationary 50 here, and it hasn't formed any pattern, and it's not oversold yet. Like, this thing is coming back down. The RSI is coming back down. So you're selling UJ today. UJ will be dropping. Hopefully there's no crazy news. There's GBP news in 7 hours and 13 minutes. 2 GBP news. So the GDP and then the manufacturing production. That should be interesting. So this is UJ now. So what you're doing, stop on high, drop. You place your pendings up here, but just wait to see what happens, because it, again, you know, this is gonna, I like this thing for a drop, but it's also in the middle of the EMAs. You are not playing this pair until it does some sort of upward movement. Just watch it. And then once you notice a pattern, you see the divergence, because another reason why I don't want you to buy this yet or sell it, so this actually might continue up, to be completely honest. This might shoot up a little bit higher than expected. The reason being is because it's not overbought yet. Right? Priced RSI, what it wants to do is get into that overbought zone. So it needs to shoot up another hit to get into that oversold zone to officially shoot back down like every other time. So expect rise, but ultimately once it shoots up that day, possible drop, because it isn't a fringe. The EMAs are really tight, meaning no trend. So we can't just assume that's going to drop right here. So I'm going to draw some lines over here. Right here. If it comes up and it hits this area, then we'll look for sells. So look for it to shoot up another level, and then possibly tomorrow, either late tonight or New York session tomorrow, or Monday, Tuesday, we'll look for this thing to reverse and come back down. Let's look at this weekly. Yeah, something's going to happen. It's got to retest, so we'll be looking for it to drop. GJ's in that bullshit too, so I'm going to say the same thing. This possibly could shoot back up again for a drop. Or it could just stop on high and then drop here. Like, I ultimately want this thing to shoot up again and then look for that drop. Weekly, through 2 wicks on the catch up, the dailies on the water, it's beneath the stationary, the 4-hour, through a wick. It's in the same position as UJ. So just look for it to follow UJ, stop on high, and we'll look for a drop as it comes close to not taking out that high. If it doesn't take out that high, then we can sell it. But this is a fringe, so this is going to be like an in and out trade. You don't want to hold this too long, because if it does drop, it's going to drop fucking hard. But if it wants to go up here and test this high, I mean, it technically can. So EA is going to be continuing. On the monthly, I told you guys last week, at the end of last week, that it broke these highs on what the candles did. But if you're noticing, it's still above the stationary 50. There's no sign of divergence, and on the monthly, it's coming out of the volatility band, which is going to force it into the overbought zone on the monthly. So that means it's going to shoot up another level. It's going to shoot up right to the blueberry on the monthly, which is at 1.67100. Right? Weekly, it made a new high. So what we're going to be expecting based off of this would technically be a stop hunt low drop. But what this daily showing is, it looks like it's showing a continuation. And if you also notice, so that first off, the daily is showing us that it's going to continue up, like so, into that extreme overbought. The 4-hour is squeezing. You notice the volatility bands are really tight and they're in the overbought zone. So this could technically do this. It could just stay up here, which if it stays up here, look at this. See how the price up top was really tight for a while for these 2 weeks? What did price do over those last 2 weeks? Slowly started going up, right? So if price is slowly going up over a 2-week span and it's still in the volatility and the volatility range is still there, we should probably expect what happened here to happen probably one more week. All right, so what you're doing on a lower time frame, so like the 15, you're looking for short terms, you're looking for a drop and rebuying. That is it. Anything on a sell is not right. It's a stop hunt or it's a pullback. So you guys are waiting. Wait for this thing to drop. If it drops down to the 15-minute Mayo, man, buy that fucker. It's going back up. Going back up. So just see how it goes and what you could do. Draw up your trend lines here, there. If it drops down here, bounces. You know, it's funny because if this thing drops, it's going to drop towards that 144. Oops. It's going to drop towards the 144. If it hits that 144, it's going back up. You fuckers are going to buy it. You're going to make some money and catch these grips. So GA is probably going to be the same exact thing. Whatever I said on GA or EA, you're doing the same thing on EA. 4 hours getting there. Notice how it's the volatility bands are getting closer, but they're not as close as EA. This means that the volatility can be a little bit stronger, as in the pullback can be bigger. So what I would say is wait for this thing. It's divergent here. So wait for it to break that water, break down towards that 15-minute Mayo for the reversal back up. If that thing drops stop hunts low, this is literally going to be a pullback. That's it. We are looking for continuation rises. So it needs to drop. Weekly is still good above the stationary. The daily is giving it away right here. It's not even forming. This thing still has to shoot up and throw some divergence on the daily. So we're looking for this shit to shoot up again. That's it. Rebuying GA. Just stop hunt low buy. G Chief. Fuck G Chief. This thing is just, I don't even, it's funny, I look at this pair because I like the way it moves, but it just hasn't been moving. So, like, and I'm pickled. Got this. Got this. My opinion on G Chief, don't trade it. Just don't trade it. I don't like it. It's in the middle. I don't like that. It can go up, it can go down, and it can go up. You're risking it. The only way I would buy this is if it breaks this trend line. If it breaks that trend line, comes back, it's going up to there. Then the other reason to buy it would be if it comes up here, breaks this trend line, and then rises up. But you gotta, I would just wait on GG. Just avoid it. We'll wait on it. We'll come back to it. And I gotta get rid of this. I don't need this. All right, cool. Anybody have any questions? I mean, simple. It is Sunday, so trap day, and there is GBP news in 7 hours and 5 minutes now. So just be ready. Wait for these stop hunts to play out. This is what I showed you is overall what's going to happen for the week, right? So you're not just buying and selling these pairs. If they stop hunt like tonight, then I'd say fuck it, buy it, like, or sell it. Like if EU shoots up tonight, hits this trend line, it's starting pattern, it's telling me it's going to keep dropping, I'm going to be like, fucking sell it. So I'm just going to pay attention. I'm going to come back to the charts around London session, and we'll see how everything goes. So that being said, everyone have a great night. Hope everybody's weekend was good, and let's fucking kill this week. Peace out, everybody.